Hi, and welcome to another screencast from eDesign 360. This is your host, Ames Brown, and today we're going to be looking at the process with installing the free trial from Adobe.com of Flash Professional CS5. Apparently, some folks find it rather confusing in terms of the files that are involved with the installation and the actual install itself. So we're going to go through the whole process right from the beginning. First of all, as you can see here, we're starting from adobe.com/go/try-flash. And this site automatically senses what computer platform you are on and places you into the right download location. So here we are running Windows 7, and it has placed us in the location for the Windows 7 installer. You can see it's 858.5 megabytes. That's a fairly large file size in terms of download speed and time that it's going to take, even with a broadband connection. So expect to allow yourself approximately half an hour to an hour, depending upon what class broadband connection you have. Keep in mind that 858.5 megabytes is a DVD size file that you are downloading. It's far beyond a typical CD size file. So click on the yellow download button and off we go. First of all, you'll see that you're referred over to the Akamai download manager. Adobe contracts with Akamai. Many large corporations do for managing very large downloads. So when you're placed into this location, what has happened is that depending upon where you live, Akamai maintains many data centers across the country. You're going to be sent to the closest location. And here you can see that you're being asked to save a file. So go ahead and do that. That's the executive file that's going to take care of the actual downloading of the installation file. And probably your system is going to ask you if you are sure that you want to let this installer make changes to your computer, and click yes. And it connects, and here, because we're using the Firefox web browser, you're going to see the download manager come up, and you're connecting, and then you're going to be asked where you want to save this file. And here I've selected the desktop. That way you won't get confused as to where your files that you're downloading are placed, and then you can get rid of them later. And we're off and going. And you can see that at the speed that I'm accessing, which is a fairly fast broadband access, I have 11 minutes remaining. And those 11 minutes have passed, and now you're asked if you want to open the installer file, and you can click on yes. And you are off and installing after having clicked on the yellow install button. You'll notice over down on the left side there on my desktop that we have two files. One is the initial Akamai installer manager, and the other is the giant compressed installer file which was downloaded from Adobe, and that's the one that looks like a little box with the Adobe logo on it. It says Flash Pro 11 LS1, and go on. And now it has to take that Adobe box icon, which is the compressed installation file, and actually decompress it so that the files are accessible and ready to use for the installation. So right now that box is highly compressed, and what's happening now is you're being told where it's going to extract the actual installation files. And this is going to create a folder, and that folder is really the equivalent of the DVD that you would get if you were installing from a DVD. So you're going to now have a third icon appear on your desktop. And here you can see it. It says Flash Pro CS5. And the decompression is going to take a little while. And it will show you the percentage as it's progressing, as it goes through all the assets that were inside the Adobe box compressed icon. And when it's done, you double click on the yellow folder. We no longer need those other two files that you can see peeking out in back of the window. I just clicked on the yellow folder and I opened the equivalent of an installation DVD. And this is what we're going to work with on our installation. So those other two files that you can see peeking out from behind, the one with the box icon and the first one from Akamai that managed the download, are no longer going to be used anymore. So inside the folder, we now click on the Adobe Flash Professional CS5 folder inside. And here we see our recognizable setup executable file. And that's what we're going to double click on now to install. And the installer will now initialize. And you'll see this nice welcome screen from Adobe. And of course, you're going to accept their software license agreement. What else are you going to do? And because we're installing this as a trial, we haven't purchased it yet. We click on the Install This Product as a Trial. You'll notice over on the right it says Select a Language, and you get two options there, one for North America, US, and one for international. In this case, I chose English International, simply because I like to have full access to all the extended character sets in case I want to use weird little characters like umlauts and tildes and things like that. We click Next. And it now tells you all of the components that it's going to install. And this gives you the full installation. They were already all checked, and as you can see over on the right there. And then if you look down the lower portion of the dialog screen, you'll see it's telling you the location, and it's fine. It's going to put it into your program files where all your major applications are installed on your Windows operating system, and it's going to put it into the Adobe folder. And this is where Adobe likes to install all of its applications by default. Here we've progressed along a little bit. It's still registering 0%, and it's installing all sorts of different packages that you'll see above the progress bar. So here we're at 15% complete. It's telling us we have 6 minutes remaining on the installation. And we're going along, and 25% complete. Now it's updated the time. This isn't very accurate, but it has to figure out the speed as it's going. So we're now up to 9 minutes remaining. And here we are at 70% complete. It's telling us we have 3 minutes relating. You can see that what it's installing right now is the Adobe Media Encoder, very important for when you're actually compiling your Flash projects. And here we've gotten into the actual core app itself, Adobe Flash Pro CS5 that's installing, and at the moment we're at 87% complete. And we're almost at the end here, 1 minute remaining. And we're done. So it tells us to close all the following applications, and actually we're going to close everything. So it started off with the Firefox web browser to do the download, so it's sensing that that's still open. And it says that our installation is complete. We're done. Now, we still have this window open from before when the initial download of the installers was being done. So again, we're seeing on the desktop here the 3 files. We just finished using the yellow folder that says Flash Pro CS5, and then there's the Flash Pro box with the Adobe icon that the folder came from. It was decompressed from that. And then the initial Akamai manager that has the little icon at the top there. So right now we want to close this window, and we don't want to click on those 3 icons anymore. All right, so those are the 3 icons that are left over from the installation. We don't need those anymore. So I'll come back and remind you about that, but don't go clicking on these again. These were all tied up with your installation, and your installation is now accessible from your Start menu, as any good newly installed app should be. So come down under your Windows Start menu, click on All Programs, and there you're going to see your newly installed Adobe Flash Professional CS5 and all the other associated Adobe packages and utilities that were installed. After we click on that, we get the opening splash screen, and we're going to say continue to use as a trial, and we have 30 days remaining before it will no longer run again. And you already had to use an Adobe ID to download from, so you could enter this here, or you could just skip this step. And Adobe Flash will start opening, and you'll see this little splash icon, very similar to all of the other current generation of CS5 Adobe apps. They all use different colors, but this same type of geometric splash screen that indicates the application is opening. And finally, there is your Adobe Flash Professional CS5. It has opened. Happy flashing. This has been eDesign 360. Join us again for another screencast in the near future.